Hey guys, welcome. Hi, it's Carolyn Shadrach, and I'm here today actually with Elaine Williams. We're going to be bringing Elaine Williams on, and we're going to be talking about sizzle wheels. So if you're a speaker, if you're a coach, if you try to do any sort of selling from the stage, or if you try to get actually clients from the stage, what are the things that you actually need to get booked? And that's what we're going to be talking about. And one of those things is a sizzle wheel. So we're going to be talking about what you need to make a great scissor wheel, the mistakes that you can make when you're thinking about getting your scissor wheel done. And Elaine actually has a lot of experience about this, so she's going to be giving us some insider tips of what not to do, and how exactly can you make a great scissor wheel that's really going to position you as an authority in your industry and someone that people should actually look to and really want to get on their stages. So right now, let me see if we can get Elaine over here. Hey, Elaine.
Hey.
Hi.
Am I on?
Hi.
Is it in?
You are on. Yes. You can see. There you go. There's
awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you. So we're thinking about, we were talking about this earlier about exactly what it is that people need to really get booked on stages. I know that you've had extensive experience on various different stages, first as a comedian and then in various different areas. How did you, just tell us about your stage experience first, just so we get an idea of that.
Sure. I grew up performing. I did my first commercial for Campfire Candy in the second grade and The Sound of Music when I was in the fourth grade. And I did my first movie, The Dirt Bike Kid, with Peter Billingsley when I was 15. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I want to wait till I lose more weight, or I want to wait. And one of the things you and I talk about is, having a good speaker reel is going to help you get your money back. It's going to help you be bookable. And it's I know a lot of people are like, I want to be perfect. I want to be skinnier. I want to be this, but they're not hiring you to be a model, and that's one thing I've had to really bust through is my own perfectionism. And Carolyn, you helped me feel so comfortable, and so much of it is angle and lighting. I'm like, I would, never wear a shirt like this. It's like, I'm making myself dizzy in the little thing, but so much, I just hate it when people are holding themselves back because of 5 pounds or, it's such an important tool, and it's a way to stand out.
Yes, it was. Actually, I had a conversation earlier with another colleague. We were talking about video and just how a lot of people do feel very kind of confronted about getting on video. And a lot of the time they're actually not conscious of it. They'll say that, well, I'm just not ready or haven't got my pieces ready. But really, I think it's a lot of people do have just fears about getting themselves out there, being in front of the camera, because it does feel very, I think people feel vulnerable when they get on camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as you said, it is like a huge marketing tool, and a lot of people don't do it. So like, if you can actually get on and start making regular broadcasts, and then in this particular case, we're talking about speakers, if you can actually have a speaker reel that shows you speaking on stage, that you've been to a couple of different places, that shows you looking, positioning yourself and being seen as an authority, it really makes you stand out from, all the thousands and hundreds of thousands of other coaches out there.
It does. And just having it professionally done, learn from my mistakes. I for years I was speaking on the college campuses, and I still do some of that, but I would get this editor and I would tell him, we would have a meeting with my agent, and we would tell him like the vision and how I talked about really heavy subjects, but we wanted to make sure there was a comedy, what we were going for. And we would spend hours sending him all the footage or whatever, and then he would work on it, and then he would have get pulled on another shoot. And anyway, this one particular demo, I went through 4 different editors.
Oh wow!
And it was time, it was money, but and looking at it now, that's been a couple of years, it seems slow paced. There's a million things but it just was heartbreaking, the whole process. It took so long, and having to retrain somebody, and there's just a million ways to make a bad sizzle reel. And that's why I just can't, recommend working with Carolyn and her husband enough because they know what they're doing. And
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because I imagine that like when you were looking even to find someone to edit it for you, well, first of all, you need to get the footage in the first place. So you probably need to book some videographers so you can get them to tape you at the various different venues. And then you need to look for an editor. I don't even know how you'd actually even go about that process to find an editor that would actually know what it is that you're trying to achieve with a speaker reel.
Well, and that's another thing. It's just like photographers. Everybody says, "Oh, I know how to do headshots." Very few people know how to do headshots right. Trust me. I love to support women in business. I can't tell you how many people I've said, "Oh, I'll come get my headshots done with you," and then I'm going, "Why did I do this again?" It's just like a lot of people don't really understand the whole world of speaking and coaching and transformational work and programs, and so you really need to make sure they know, it's not just some kid who just graduated from film school, or it's not some artsy person who's just trying to make some extra money. I mean, there's just a lot of people will say they know what a sizzle reel is for speakers, but they don't. So,
right.
You always want to ask to see footage, previous projects, and you want to make sure you're talking to their former clients. It's huge. What would they like to work with? Did they honor their time? When they said it would get back, did they, were they happy with the process?
Yeah, I can imagine. But so what are the things that that really needs to be included in a speaker reel? Because I imagine that if you think about the actual end use of how you can actually use it to get yourself booked on stage, you need to think about what it is that the organizing bookers are actually looking for. What are they looking for in terms of a speaker? And so what are the things that you think that people really need to include when they're thinking about their speaker reels?
That's great. You want to show confidence that you know what you're doing and that you are articulate with your particular message. And you want to also make sure that there's some audience participation. It's not just like you just on a stage or two or three, but you want to see people reacting, and you want to definitely have some testimonials somewhere on there too. Because, you got to think about anyone who's booking speakers is usually wearing 5 hats. They're, like, let me give you an example. I had a friend who recommended me to speak in New York City like a month ago at NABO. And this woman was writing a book, going through, like, the woman was doing 53 projects. When I got her on the phone to have a conversation, I was like, wow. And because I had my headshots, my speaker reel, my demos, my everything, resume, like, bam.
Yeah.
She didn't even consider there were some other people who had been recommended, but because we had a conversation, I connected with her. I did research before, but I just had all my stuff there. I made her job easier. And so that's what you want to always be portraying with with your sister reels. Like, I got this. I'm going to take good care of your people. I'm going to make you look good.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I guess it's really making sure that they feel confident about what they're gonna get, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then another thing, sometimes people say, "Oh, well, what if my message is changing? What if my topic is changing?" But what's cool is it's not that hard to tweak them. Like, I'm always encouraging people just to get tape on yourself, because you can always do cuts of it, or you can always be showing you talking and then do voiceover on it. I think we get wrapped up in this perfectionist. When I was doing comedy, I would be like, "Oh my gosh, I have to do a perfect set, a perfect 30-minute set." Well, that's a lot of pressure. If you go in your head for a second, or a waitress drops drinks. So I would I tried that. It didn't work. So I would just tell myself, I just need to get a 2-minute joke. And that freed me up, because a lot of stuff can be done with the editing. But, so I think, if you feel like you're ready for a demo reel, or even if you don't think you're ready, but you want to at least talk about it, you should talk about it, because it's one of the fastest ways to get your return on your money. People do all this training, and then they are waiting until God comes down and says, "Your message is now perfect." I mean, we're, I feel like we're always sort of waiting.
Yes.
And that's one thing I learned from comedy. Like if I waited to get on stage, if I waited to be perfect, I would never get on stage. So it's sort of like that good enough is good enough. And that doesn't mean, of course, you want to look your best. Of course, you want to not carb out, the week before. Of course, you want to have clothes that work, that you feel good in, that are great colors. Of course, all that. But it's also, we have this perfectionism going on in the media all the time. It's not that. They need someone who is competent, who can deliver the message, the truth, the purpose, the value, the training. That's what they're really looking for.
Yeah. No, because I do see a lot of people and it feels as though they're like in a holding pattern, like they're just waiting. It's like almost, as you said, it's like they're waiting for permission, someone to give them permission to say, okay, now I'm the authority, now I'm the expert, now I can kind of get on the stage. But as you said, I think that it's just a matter of actually doing it and stepping into that role. And then you actually become that.
I think, and I know for me, I was bulimic for a long time. I'm lucky to be alive, and it's good for me to remember that. But, I think for me, I always had so much judgment about how I thought I was supposed to look. And then, so I had a hard time watching myself on video, and I used to put projects on hold and, but I think if you can do some work or work with a coach to help you get over that, it's like you have a message and a purpose and a mission. Why are you waiting to be perfect? Like perfect, Jeff Walker says, perfect doesn't help anybody, and I think, and that's what I work with my students about. Like when you can really get connected with your why, it's so much less about you. And when you're really connected in the flow, you don't even care what you look like, right? You're just like, oh my gosh, I just want to give this information and help as many people as I can and live my purpose. And I think we get, I know for me, I get stuck in the details, mired in the guck, and also like, there's nothing like, getting your hair done and your makeup done and feeling confident in the right outfit with good lighting and good angling. Oh my God, people make me look tall, like
when you actually use a professional team to do it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that we were talking about earlier is that, people spend all of this money on the training, like getting speaker training and working on their actual talks themselves and perfecting the talks and, doing all of this work. And then they kind of let it all fall down if they actually have a speaker reel that just, and it's not about how they look. It's really about the, if it looks like a professionally polished product,
right,
that people can say, wow, this person actually knows what they're doing. And, when you try to, I've seen, heard a lot of people trying to, they might do something on SlideShare or try and cobble something together themselves. But, what does that actually do for their image what was it like for you when you had pieces like that?
It's not good. It's not good. I mean, that was one of the hard things as a comedian. You're always trying to get a good tape, but it's really hard to get, you can't have a crew there. That was really hard in the comedy world. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, I would finally have a really great set and then there'd be like all this shimmering weird stuff on the stage or, like, like totally distracting.
Right.
Or like, I remember I worked on this one project, Carolyn. Well, I was waiting for months to get the edit. And then when I finally got the edit, it was like nothing my partner and I had talked about. They'd gone off in a totally different direction and I was devastated. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about just, or just like people who don't understand even like basic lighting, and also like, I know that's one thing I love. You and I are both we're nurturers. I did a headshot one time in New York, a photo shoot, and my friend brought her husband, who I had that fake smile the whole day. Like it just, you want to make sure you're breathing and that you feel comfortable and grounded.
Yeah. So Well, so actually, because I wrote an article just recently when I talked about the some 6 things that you need to make a great speaker wheel.
Oh,
And
good.
well, one of them was actually to keep it short, because I've seen a lot of scissor wheels that are like, even 3 minutes is a long time. It seems like it wants to be 1 or 2 minutes. And actually, the way that we think about it, it's almost like a movie trailer. It's fast. It's really kind of fast paced, and it's the best of your talk.
Yeah.
I think that some people think that, oh my God, like I can't do this because I haven't got my talk sorted out, but it's really getting to like the most important pieces of the topic that you want to talk about. And, what are your insights that make you different from what everybody else is saying? And those are the things. And it's like just hitting on some of those points to really make you stand out from the other people that they could potentially book in, so that you actually look different and stand out from the crowd.
I love it. And yeah, it's an old vaudeville saying, less is more. Like always leave them wanting more, which is something I work on because I get excited and then I talk too much.
Yeah.
I was speaking last night. I was doing some servers last night and they were like, Elaine, cut, you're done. I was like, okay. But yeah, think about it. And here's the thing too, like think about booker. We have to be in the world of the bookers, right? Or the casting directors. They're so busy. And everyone wants a piece of them, right? We all, there's like, and so if you can make their job easy and be like, "Ooh, here I am. Look," they make decisions quickly.
Right.
Stephen Sondheim, who is a god of musical theater, he's like a genius. I just love this man. He says that when a singer walks out on stage, he can tell by the 3rd step she takes whether she's going to nail it or not. The way she walks out on the stage. Which is another reason I love to work with people on like walking on the stage and owning every inch of that. But that, like think about it. If you see people all the time, you want to have that polished, that professional look. And it's more powerful if they're like, wow, I want to see more of that. Who was that? What is that?
Right.
That's way more effective than like, okay, we get it. Right. People are fast these days. You want to match where they are.
Yeah, and catch them in the first couple of seconds. Yeah, it's really important. Yeah, so I think we're going to sign off now. I don't know how long we can go, and it looks like, I'm not sure, like 15 minutes or so. But anyway, so next time, one of the things we want to talk about is what are those other pieces that you need, because if you have your scissor wheel down, you actually get someone, like a professional crew to actually do it for you. What are the other pieces? And I think that, there's the speaker one sheet that we talk about,
right,
and the publicity shot. But I think that some people are confused about that. So next time, when we come back, we're going to look at the speaker one sheet and exactly what it is, why do you need it, and what's supposed to be on there. So we are going to go now. Thank you for being with us, Elaine.
Yeah, my pleasure. I can show you some really old speaker sheets from my old days.
Okay. That sounds really scary.
What not to do. No, just kidding.
Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you for being with us. Here we're going to be back again, possibly tomorrow. After checking with Elaine, and we'll be going over, as we said, the speaker one sheet, and what is it? What does it need to look like? What do you need to include on there? How can you put the whole thing together? So thank you for being with us today. So now, if you want to have more information about how you can actually get onto the stage and how you can actually start to get your speaker wheel done, your speaker one sheet, then you want to go to speakerpromoday.com. and check it out. And we'll see if we can talk to you and find out how we can actually help you get onto more stages. Okay, so thanks, Elaine, for being here again, and thanks everyone for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.